Do you ever feel a sudden mood shift after scrolling through Instagram, TikTok, or Facebook? Maybe you felt great before, but then after 10 minutes online, you are anxious, down, or even irritated. It's not just you. Social media is rewiring the way our minds work. And today we're going to break down how these platforms are silently shaping your emotions, your confidence, and even your relationships. This isn't an accident. It's a billion-dollar behavioral science experiment run on all of us. By the end of this talk, you'll have a whole new way of looking at your online life and some practical tools to protect your mental health in the digital age. The hidden power of social media. Social media is everywhere. Nearly 5 billion people worldwide are using it in 2025. That's more than half of the planet scrolling, liking, posting, and commenting every single day. For many of us, checking social media is the first thing we do in the morning and the last thing we do at night. And here's the crazy part. While we think we're just catching up, these platforms are doing a lot more than keeping us connected. They're influencing how we see ourselves, how we compare our lives to others, and even how our brains process happiness and sadness. Think about it. When you post a picture and people like it, your brain gets a tiny hit of dopamine, the same chemical release when you eat chocolate or win a small reward. That's no accident. Apps are literally designed to keep you hooked, locking you into a cycle of variable reward that science proves is the most addictive. But here's the twist. What feels like connection often creates the opposite. The illusion of connection. One of the biggest myths of social media is connection. You might have hundreds or even thousands of followers, but how many of those people would you actually call if you were going through a tough time? Probably not many. On social media, we see highlight reels, vacations, achievements, smiles, and filters. What we don't see are the arguments, the loneliness, the bills piling up, or the moments of self-doubt. And when you're constantly comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel, you start feeling inadequate. This illusion of connection creates a strange kind of loneliness. You feel like you're plugged in all the time, yet emotionally, you're disconnected. You are substituting genuine, messy human intimacy for digital proximity, leaving your deepest need for belonging unmet. Studies even show that people who spend the most time online often report higher feelings of isolation. Isn't that ironic? The rise of digital envy. Scrolling through feeds has another side effect. Envy. We've all felt it. Maybe you see your coworker traveling the world, an old classmate buying a new house, or someone flaunting the perfect relationship. Suddenly, your own life feels a little less. This constant comparison is toxic. Even if you know deep down that people are only showing the best part of their lives, your brain still processes it as real. Psychologists call this digital envy, and it's powerful enough to trigger stress, anxiety, and even depression. And it doesn't stop there. Social media also pressures us to perform. You feel like you need to post the best photos, the funniest videos, or the most aesthetic version of your life. It's exhausting, right? The truth is, the more we chase likes and validation online, the more we risk tying our self-worth to numbers on a screen. And that's a dangerous game. Mind traps and echo chambers. Now, let's talk about algorithms. Have you noticed how once you watch one type of video, suddenly your feed is filled with more of the same? That's not random. Algorithms are designed to feed you content that keeps you engaged. The problem? This creates echo chambers, digital bubbles where you only see content that reinforces your existing beliefs. That might sound harmless, but it can actually affect your mental health. When you're constantly surrounded by one-sided information, it fuels stress, anger, or fear. Add to that the non-stop notifications. Every ping, ding, and buzz interrupts your focus, training your brain to crave constant stimulation. Over time, this reduces your attention span, fragments your thinking, and even raises your baseline anxiety levels. You're losing the ability to simply be present and think deeply. In other words, social media isn't just shaping what you believe, it's reshaping how your brain works, trading focus for perpetual distraction. Apps are not just stealing your time. They're fundamentally eroding your capacity for deep work and sustained focus. The constant task switching required by notifications trains your brain to prioritize novelty over depth. This isn't just about distractions. It's about altering the chemical pathways needed for memory consolidation and creative problem solving. The algorithms want your attention, and in exchange, they demand your peace of mind. The anxiety spiral. One of the biggest mental health effects of social media is anxiety. Imagine this. You post a picture and wait for likes. If they don't come fast enough, you feel rejected. If they do, you feel validated, but only for a moment. Soon you need another post, another hit of dopamine. This cycle is addictive. And like any addiction, it leaves you feeling restless and uneasy when you're not getting your fix. Add fear of missing out, FOMO, to the mix, and you got the perfect recipe for anxiety. You see people hanging out without you, friends attending events you weren't invited to, or influencers living lives that feel out of reach. Suddenly, you're questioning your own choices, your worth, and your happiness. The vulnerability of young minds. Beyond adult anxiety, we must recognize the unique vulnerability of developing minds. For teenagers, the pressure of social media hits different. Their brains are still developing critical areas responsible for self-regulation and impulse control. Constant digital validation becomes an outsized metric for self-worth. This is where the comparison trap transforms into something more severe: body dysmorphia fueled by filters, cyberbullying, and a chronic inability to tolerate solitude. We are training an entire generation to rely on external digital approval instead of building resilient internal self-esteem. Recognizing this heightened risk in young users is a key part of the modern mental health conversation. Sleep, stress, and the screen. Social media doesn't just mess with your emotions, it also messes with your sleep. Scrolling at night exposes you to blue light, which disrupts your natural sleep cycle. That means even if you do sleep, the quality of your rest is worse. Poor sleep then fuels stress, lowers your mood, and makes you more vulnerable to anxiety and depression. It's a vicious cycle. Stress makes you scroll more, scrolling makes you sleep less, and less sleep makes you more stressed. Reclaiming your digital self. So what can we do about it? The good news is you don't need to delete all your apps and go live in the mountains. Social media isn't evil by itself. It's about how we use it. Here are some practical steps to reclaim your digital self. Number 1, mindful scrolling. Before opening an app, ask yourself, why am I logging in right now? If it's boredom, maybe try something else first, like walking, journaling, or calling a friend. Number 2, set boundaries. Turn off unnecessary notifications. Schedule no-phone zones, like during meals or the first hour after waking up. Number 3, digital detox. Try a full break once a week, even if it's just for a few hours. You'll be surprised how refreshing it feels. Number 4, curate your feed. Follow accounts that inspire and uplift you. Unfollow or mute people who trigger comparison or negativity. Number 5, real connections. Use social media to set up real-world interactions. Message a friend to meet for coffee instead of just liking their posts. Number 6, practice digital minimalism. This means identifying the minimum amount of technology and specific apps you need to support your values and goals. Delete the rest. It's about being intentional, not just cutting back. When you approach your digital life with a minimalist mindset, you prioritize quality over endless quantity. Building a healthier relationship. Ultimately, the goal is not to quit social media, but to build a healthier relationship with it. Think of social media like food. Junk food isn't bad in moderation, but if that's all you eat, your health suffers. Likewise, social media can be fun and even beneficial, but only when balanced with real-world connections and self-awareness. Here are a few mindset shifts. You are more than your likes. Your value doesn't depend on a number. Comparison is a thief of joy, so focus on your own growth. Offline moments matter more than online validation. The more you remind yourself of these truths, the less control social media has over your emotions. A new way forward. Imagine a version of social media that truly serves you. You scroll without guilt. You use apps to learn, laugh, and connect, not to compare or compete. You control the platform, not the other way around. That's possible, but it starts with awareness. The more you understand how these apps affect your mind, the easier it is to set healthy boundaries and prioritize your mental well-being. Closing thoughts. So, the next time you feel drained after scrolling, pause and remember this. It's not just you. Social media is designed to play with your psychology, but now you know how it works, and more importantly, how to take back control. Your mental health is priceless. Don't give away for a few likes.